stop. Just stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
Already.
Yep.
Jeez.
No, absolutely. We've got some footage from Florida Man's bomb last night. We can just cut right to that right now, courtesy of our friends over at Bally Sports.
Let's do it.
Salem Field.
And there's a high fly ball. Back into left. Well tagged. Gone. Home run on a 3-1 pitch. Zunino unloads. A 3-run blast. And the Rays make it a 4-run inning.
Magical.
Oh,
Magical,
it absolutely was. It really was.
I love the fact that he's kind of. I hope he's heating up. He's been really hitting a putrid like below like 120 right now as a guy that hit over 200 last year as a catcher and then had like 33 bombs. So I hope this is a start to something that's gonna keep on going for the next couple of months or so, because Mejia's been ripping the cover off the ball before he went on the COVID restriction list. Patino, who they brought from the minors, did fill in really good for Zunino for that, or filled in for Mejia for the week that he was gone. So let's just see. I mean, Zunino could be off to a slow start, but now he's heating up, and that's a good thing, especially when we're going to be facing the Blue Jays and the Yankees pretty soon, and those two teams are, especially the Skankies, are just rolling and rolling. So we'll see. I mean, it's looking good so far. Shane McClanahan did a great pitching performance last night. I think he went 5 innings. 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 Ks, and 2 walks. Pretty good outing for him. He's he's a guy that's is going to be that ace eventually. I think he's still learning his tools in the major leagues. I mean, Drew Rasmussen, that he had a gem against Oakland the other night against the A's. He's right now the number one, I think, in our eyes for our rotation. So this team is a slow starter. That's good. It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish.
Oh, for sure. To me, it's interesting because you get so many people go, "Oh, the baseball season's so long. It's way too long. It's way too long."
Right.
But then you got people freaking out in the first month. And you go, "All right, come on, guys."
I love it though. I love being on Twitter, and there are periods of my being on Twitter where I just want to throw. If Twitter was a phone, I would throw it across the room, because it just frustrates me sometimes with the amount of dumbass-ism. And I'm going to coin that word now. Dumbass-ism.
Dumbass-ism. Make that a shirt.
Yes, please do. Yes, dumbass-ism that's on Twitter, with the amount of people that just like hit the panic button, especially on a team that is going to be good. And just because they don't are hot right out the gate, it's just like, oh, this team sucks. And people do this every single year. It's just like, do you people even watch this team at all? Like, this is how baseball is. It's a long season, man. Like, teams are going to get hot. Teams are going to have a slow start. Teams are going to have that little struggle in between, especially in the summer months. Let's just relax. The AL East is probably the best division, one of the best divisions in all of baseball, except for, well, I think now for those two teams in the bottom of the barrel, the Red Sox and the Orioles. The AL East is one of the top divisions. So just relax. It's going to be competitive all year.
For sure. Now, going back to what you said, you go, okay, well, do people even watch this team? I think we've got your question that you want to propose, that you wanted to talk about today, is our Rays tickets too expensive?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those questions online and compared to other teams, and on an average, it looks like they are. But I think there's 2 points to that I think people have to really get across. Is this is a small market team, and Stewie Sternberg, which I'll pin down my camera. There we go. Stewie Sternberg, that's a guy that's, he's trying to make money for this team, because, obviously not a lot of people show up. I mean, and that's still a problem with this team in this day and age still, even though we're not going to Montreal anymore, which is a good thing, because that was just I'm going to, if I ever see Stu, I'll just be like, dude, what were you thinking? So
that was kind of scary.
No, it wasn't scary. Come on, Danny. That's just a dog and pony show for him to try and leverage some kind of deal with Tampa or St. Pete about a new stadium. If it was a real thing, which maybe it could have been. It's to me, of course, our commissioner is a clown, Rob Manclown.
Yes.
If he would have let that happen, you wouldn't have seen baseball in Tampa anymore. Like, it would have been either full time in Montreal, or would have been in another expansion city. It wouldn't have been, you would have, if you thought no fans went to the Trop, then nobody would have gone if that would have went through.
Right.
There's no way. But going back to the whole ticket thing, on an average, you're spending about, for a third level party deck seat, you're spending about maybe $25-$30 on a real, like a regular game. Now, when it comes to the Yankees and the Red Sox, when they come into town, you're spending about $40 to $45, maybe $50 a ticket. In the outfield, it's about the same. From what I've seen on an average and on a few other teams, it's in the mid to high level seats, for ticket prices. It is kind of expensive because you got to think about it. If you're taking a family of 4, you got 4 tickets to buy, you got parking, which is $20, and then you got all the food that you have to buy. And then, kids want to buy things at the team store. So it adds up. So, if I don't know why that, the front office doesn't look at the past, lowering the tickets promotions that they had before. I think last year, I think the year after COVID, last year, I think when we were just coming out of COVID, they did the $5 ticket nights, the $10 ticket nights for those games, and the Trop was packed.
Yep.
And I think if they went back to those promotions, of course, people are going to buy and go. So yeah, I think Rays tickets are too expensive, especially, if they're trying to pack the house. You really have to listen to the fans, which, they don't really do most of the time when it comes to the fans. So, maybe I'm wrong. If you're out there watching us right now, let us know. Are the tickets too expensive at the Trop? We want to hear your thoughts on that. Are the Rays tickets too expensive to go to the Tropicana Field? So I think they are on an average compared to other teams. So if Rays, lower your ticket prices. Go back to those $5, $10 promotional nights. That'd be great. I'll bring 20 people with me. We'll do hashtag promotion, hashtag Channelside Sports tickets there. Boom.
Done. We're going to hold you to it because we're live.
That's cool.
So but you know what, though? And I heard this a lot before I moved to Tampa. Obviously, my wife and I just kind of relocated at the beginning of the year up to the area. And I used to hear this all the time is, nobody goes to the Trop because it's a pain in the ass to get to. And I was like, well, I mean, Tampa and St. Pete don't seem that bad. I've driven to St. Pete one time and went, holy hell, I'm never going to St. Pete again.
Yeah, so I'm coming from south, and you're in the northern part. You're in Tampa. I'm in the Sarasota, Bradenton area. I mean, when on a game night, it's just as bad going from where I'm at over the Skyway into St. Pete. I mean, you have the rush hour traffic. Now, it's way worse when you're coming from Tampa over the Howard Franklin, because the Howard Franklin is it's Mad Max beyond Thunderdome when you're on that bridge. This is a conversation that, is brought up every single year about the stadium, where it's at and everything. And, look, if you want this team to be around and stick around after the lease is up in 2027, you got to put them in Tampa. That's the most logical place to put them. Now, obviously, you're going to make it a longer drive for myself and people that live, on the south side of St. Pete. But, if it's going to be a great looking stadium and it's going to, be able to keep this team for another 20 odd years, I'll make the extra drive to go to the Trop. I mean, that's just the way it has to be. So let's just do it. Let's just get this done because I'm tired of hearing about it.
No, I'm totally with you on there. Totally with you on there. So how about Brett Phillips?
Man of the people, Maverick.
I love it.
Highway to the danger zone. Now, I know he's not all that great hitting wise, but you always need somebody like this on a team like the Rays. They've had this in the past with Johnny Gomes. Brett Phillips reminds me of Johnny Gomes. And if you're a Rays fan, you know who Johnny Gomes is.
Yep.
Brett Phillips is a man of the people. He is a cheerleader. He gives back to the community. If you go to his website for his foundation, you can get one of those Baseball is Fun t-shirts, which I'm going to be ordering today. This is the guy. This is the guy that you want on a team to pump people, everybody up. Now, for all the saying, hey, he could replace KK in the outfield. Let's
pump the brakes.
Let's pump the brakes again on that one. I mean, they're both hitting putrid. They're both not hitting well in the center field, but defensive wise, you want KK. But if I'm the Rays, I always want Brett Phillips on my team. So Brett Phillips, to you and from us at Channelside Sports, we salute you because you are the man of the people.
At least we didn't do like a Wayne's World salute.
Oh, I know. That would have been.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much, especially for. I mean,
especially this time in the morning. Yeah,
I was gonna say it's not even 8:30.
Yeah,
like, come on, guys.
We're not even halfway through the show yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. Quarter of the way through the first one. Look at this. We're knocking them down as we go. Rays shaking off the rust. You mentioned a little bit earlier. Pitching starting to come together. Obviously, they've got they've got the Blue Jays and the Yankees coming up. How do you envision the pitching rotation holding up against teams like the Blue Jays and the Yankees?
And that's one of the things I'm a little worried about, especially going against those two teams, because both of their lineups are scary. I mean, you really for our rotation right now, which is we got New York at the end of the month. Toronto's coming up after the loss to the Angels series, and we're back at home. I think with our rotation right now, because we don't really have a solidified rotation, we've got McClanahan, we've got Rasmussen, we've got Kluber. All three have been doing pretty good. I mean, they've all had some slow starts, but now I think they've all gotten their footing, especially Kluber. I mean, Kluber's looking like he was when he was with the Indians. So, but I think for our 4 and 5 guys, which we don't really have a solidified 4 and 5 guys, we're gonna have to have some really tricky tactics when it comes to those bullpen days when we have that opener, especially against those lineups. Now we have been the Yankees' daddy for the past couple of seasons. No buts about it. For some odd reason, they're like good this year. It's blowing my mind, but I did tweet this out the other day where I think the Mets and the Yankees will both crumble in the second half of the season. So, I think going into those two series, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try and go to the Toronto series because the Blue Jays fans they're starting to come out of the woodworks for some reason. The bandwagon people out of Toronto the America's hat. Those people are starting to come out in the Tampa Bay area saying the Blue Jays are the best team in the league, which, on paper they look good, but right now they're in third place. So I guess not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Canada's also finally kind of opened. So maybe that's part of the reason why. They're like, maybe
that's part of the reason why. I would say, since we're on this road trip, we've got 2 more against Seattle. We've got 3 against the Angels, which, of course you got to face Mike Trout and then Shohei Ohtani. And then you come back for 3 against Toronto, 3 against Detroit, and then, of course, back to Baltimore. But the end of the month is the big series, the 4-game series against the Yankees. So, I think, going against Baltimore again and Detroit it's going to be fun against Detroit because, Austin Meadows is going to be there. It's going to be there to face them at home. Yeah. But it's going to be fun. I think with our pitching rotation, our bullpen is one of the best in the league, but it's just we've got to have the bats going against those teams too, because you're going to have to put up 6-7 runs against the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So we'll see it going forward. I think it's going to be a fun series, but let's get this going, guys. I want to get back in the first place. We're in second right now. That's good. It's a good thing.
I mean, yeah. The way that they started the season was a little finicky, and I get it. Yep. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to back a winner.
Everybody wants the hot start.
Yeah, but
that's what everybody wants. But it's not happening every time. And I told my buddies the other day, if the Rays come out of April above 500, that's a good thing, because most of the time, if you're a team competing in the AL East and you're above 500 coming out of April, that's a good start. That's a good start to go into. Now we're headed into the summer months, when things get a little hairy because of injuries, and it's go time for some teams where they hit that hot start. So coming out of April above 500, good thing. But starting off slow, it happens, man. There was no really a spring training. You had a few weeks where people hadn't really trained at all. They're getting back in the swing of things. Slow starts, like I said before the beginning of the show. It's nothing to panic about.
No, and especially for me, I think the only professional sport where every game truly matters is the NFL.
Right.
There's just not enough games
right
in the NFL in the regular season to where it doesn't matter, where you can start off slow and still make the playoffs, because that's
a good segue, Danny. I applaud you.
Well, look at that, man. It's almost like I've done this before.
I know. It's a good segue. Good for you. Good for you.
Look at that. We're just running with it. So the Buccaneers are headed to Germany. They're going to take on the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be week 10, which is Sunday, November 13th.
I want to get your opinion on this before I give you. What do you think about this? I'm okay with the London games, but now they're doing more European dates. I don't know how I feel about this. What are your thoughts about now we're going over to Germany now, and it's becoming a gimmick. Look, we all know the NFL is the biggest sport, second from soccer in the world. Now I know the NFL is trying to be maybe the next. Hey, we're trying to get American football above the world soccer, but do you think it's just more now of a gimmick than anything? I don't like it. I'd rather have them stay here and play instead of going over to Germany because things could happen,
100% they could. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I like it because I think it's cool that to me it shows you like how small the world is. You go, wow, they're gonna go play in Munich. Like that's pretty cool. I'm German heritage, so I told my wife when they were like, hey, right, yeah,
that's good.
They're like, oh, the Buccaneers are gonna play in Germany. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Germany. I've always wanted to check it out. Now I could do that and watch the Buccaneers play. Like to me, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I get, because the Buccaneers are going to lose a home game. So there's going to be one less game at Raymond James Stadium. And I totally understand why there's frustration among fans. From the business side, makes total sense.
Money.
Yeah. Lane Stadium holds 75,000 people. They're going to sell that out.
It'll be funny to see on TV because when it comes to the games on in the European market, like it's funny because you see like people just wearing like random jerseys. It's funny.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed that. When you're like, yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers jersey for
Is that an old NFL Europe jersey?
Right, yeah. Yeah. The thing that
I was gonna say I can see it from your side from the business standpoint, but they could have picked a better team for the Bucs to play. I mean, Seattle.
Well, and I think there's a rumor amongst the Bucs media is that this was set long before the Russell Wilson trade to Denver.
Okay.
Now you could have made a change. I don't know if the NFL books international games like the WWE books their shows where it's like card subject to change. I don't know if that's the case, but
like, I'm not. I mean, I like it because now you have football early in the morning on Sunday now.
That's the best part about these international games to me is I can wake up
9:00 in the morning and boom, you have football on. I think from a fan standpoint, it's cool. They're going to Germany, expanding the brand, but of course you're losing a home game. And then, but I look at them more of like the logistical standpoint because there's so many things that can happen on a cross the pond trip, which things could happen. But I mean, it's cool. If I was in Germany, I'd go see them. I mean, but there's pros and cons of this. I think, if they're going to do this even more, then just bring back the NFL Europe League again.
and I think maybe that's what they're going to start. I think maybe that's what they're going to try and start again.
I mean, it worked for the NBA. I mean, look how the NBA now is a world sport with teams in all over the country with all their leagues popping up. So, I mean, hey, we've got the USFL and the XFL back. So, I mean, hey, why don't we do it over in Europe again? It's cool.
You never know. Now, the thing that's funny about this Bucs game is that this will be the fourth game that the Bucs have played internationally.
Wow.
The Bucs have not won internationally. They're 0-3 in international games. Now, to be fair, these were the Jameis Winston-led games. But I do find coming full circle for the Buccaneers in their international series is their very first game. They lost 35-7 to Tom Brady.
Full circle. It's like a circle.
It's a circle. There's no
that
square.
Goes round and round. It's not triangle.
Tom Brady's also going to be the first player to ever play in 4 countries. Guys, just breaking records left and right. As long as you hold up another Lombardi trophy at the end of the season, I think that's all that really matters.
Yeah, I know, right?
Cool. Your passport's got Munich stamped on it now. That's fantastic. That's who knows. Moving along. Buccaneers announced their off-season dates. Rookie minicamp is set for May the 13th, so next Friday, at 1:20 p.m. Next Saturday at 1:20 p.m. as well. These are all open to the public, as well as the OTAs, which are May 17th at 10:30 a.m., 25th at 10:30, and June 1st at 10:30. Rookie minicamp. I'm sorry, mandatory minicamp. Mandatory. You better show your ass up there, guys. June 7th and 8th at 9 a.m. June 9th at 10 a.m.
Full schedule's coming out for the days in the 22nd, right? Coming up.
The 12th.
12th. Oh,
6 days.
Oh, okay.
6 days. I've got. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I probably can't say this on here. I'll shoot you a message. Follow along at Channelside Sports because I might drop nuggets throughout the day on our social media platforms. Maybe we'll do that.
Okay.
I could get in trouble for it. I don't know.
Well, with the amount of other fan pages that do whatever they want. Maybe you know what? Let's sprinkle some breadcrumbs.
We'll sprinkle some breadcrumbs.
Sprinkle the
maybe
breadcrumbs.
Gingerbread cookies.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Like
the question everybody wants to know the answer to. Will Gronk
back.
return to the Bucs, Evan?
He's coming back. I mean, he did this last year, the same thing where he was just, you know what? I'll wait. Look, he doesn't want to go to OTAs. He doesn't want to do that. He's too old. He's by this point in his career, why would he go to that? Why would he go to training camp? He's just waiting. Like he's having so much fun in his parties and stuff like that. Did you see the videos from his his draft party?
Oh man,
where he's twerking and stuff too.
He's having the time of his life.
Let him have the time of his life. He's just every time you ever interview him about this question, he's just going to give you some bullshit answer. Like for him to come back, you got to sign Edelman. Nope. Edelman ain't coming to the Bucs. He's not going to sign with the Bucs. Edelman's retired too. Like, let Gronk be Gronk, and Gronk will come back when he feels like it. He is. Look, he'll come back. He'll come back for 1 year. Tom's got this final year in the contract, and then either Gronk will retire or maybe go down to Miami with Tom. So never know. I think Gronk's coming back. What do you think?
Do you think Gronk would work for Tom Brady in Miami?
Probably. Although Gronk's got his own thing going on with all the CBD and all the stuff he's got going on the side. So I mean, I think Gronk would stay. He'll stay playing as long as Tom is staying playing. I think
there you go.
So
and that's the way that I look at it too. Yeah. I don't take anything that he said about Joe Burrow looks like a great guy. Like I don't take any of that serious.
Well, he's already said like the only team he'll come back for is the Bucs, and the only people he'll play for is the Bucs. So I mean, he's gonna come back eventually. Just look. It's May, people. We've got plenty of time for him. He's staying in shape, obviously. So he's working out. He's working out with Derrick Henry.
I was gonna say he's working out with Derrick Henry, which means absolutely nothing. By the way, so just take that with a grain of salt. He's not gonna go to the Tennessee Titans.
No, he's not. But relax, people. He's coming back to the Bucs. We'll probably see him back in pads probably after July. There you go.
So I've got a question for you. I want to hear your take on this, and then I'll give you my little spiel.
Sure.
Do you really care if Gronk comes back?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's Gronk, and he adds another weapon that Tom is so familiar with, and we've obviously know and seen what they both can do together. But we drafted a tight end. We've got Cam Brate still. So if he comes back, awesome. If he doesn't come back, we're still going to be okay even without him. I mean, even when he was hurt, the Bucs were doing all right without Gronk. So I just I think for everybody, I think it's nice to have him back because it is Gronk, and it has to have that that tandem being there with Gronk and Brady is fun to watch. But if he's not there, the Bucs will be fine. They'll be okay. What do you think?
Yeah, no, and I'm totally with that. And it kind of goes to the point that you made earlier of Tom Brady is going to be gone next year. That's almost certain.
Right.
The means at which he's gone, we don't know. You can speculate, say, he's going to be quarterback. Somehow he's going to overthrow Tua in Miami. Like whatever your thought process is on that, keep it right. But
I just think with the weapon set that we have, even though we probably need them. Even though we probably won't get Godwin back until maybe midway, almost the end of the season, we still have plenty of weapons for Tom to throw to. And I think with the changing of the guard too, I think they're probably going to go for more of a run offense anyways. I don't think Tom's going to be throwing as much as he did last year and the year before. I think with Todd Bowles being at head coach, and you still have Byron Leftwich too, I think the scheme is going to change. I think you're going to see more of a run-heavy offense. That's why they brought back Fournette as well.
Right.
So, I think, with Gronk, if he returns, awesome. If he doesn't, let him live his best life by doing what he's doing. I don't think.
100%.
I think Bucks fans are like Rays fans. They'll panic if Gronk comes back. Oh, he's going to go to another team. Nah, he's already said he's going to come back. If he comes back, it's going to be with the Bucks. So just let him do his thing. Yep. If he comes back, he comes back. If he doesn't, we're gonna be okay. So
100%. I do think it's crazy. The Buccaneers are set to 11.5 wins by Hard Rock Sportsbook this season.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
To me, that seems a little light.
Have you seen their schedule? Well, their proposed schedule.
Yeah. I mean, it is a tough schedule, but you go, okay, so this team is supposed to be a contender, and you're thinking that they may go 11-6, 12, like that. That to me is kind of light, right? Like you don't think of a Super Bowl contender losing 6 games like that.
I mean, I'll take the over on it. I mean, I'll take 11, but I'll take the over on it. I mean, yeah, he might. I'll give them 12. I'll go 12.
Okay.
That's what I'll go 12 until I see the official schedule coming out. I'll give them 12. I mean, 11 is doable to me for this team, but I think 12 should be the set for Vegas odds.
Yeah.
So, I think they're at 11 because of the changing of the guard, and there's some pieces that we haven't signed yet in defensive wise. So I think 11 is fair for right now.
I think I'll take it. You've sold me. You've sold me on 11.5 making sense. Okay. Look at that.
Is there a chance that Sue comes back? And I know JPP's still out there too.
JPP sent that weird Instagram. Did you see that Instagram story last week?
No.
Yeah,
I'm not on the gram, Danny. I'm not on it.
You got to do it for the gram.
No, I can't do it for the gram, man. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. That's all I'm good for. I hate taking pictures. So I'm not on the gram.
I don't post pictures on my Instagram.
Okay.
I look for stories.
Are you the creepy guy that just goes on and looks at girls' photos? Is that what you're doing?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
My wife would do unspeakable things to me for that. But no, I mean, I'm on there primarily, like we saw Tom Brady on TikTok yesterday.
I did see that.
Talk about the tuck rule.
Might have been a fumble. Yeah.
All these years, and you wait for TikTok to come clean, Tom. That's just.
We've got a comment from Facebook. Roxana Bennett. Is that your lovely wife? Oh, that is. I was totally joking, Mrs. Bennett. Totally joking. Yeah, I'm not on the gram, man. I can't do it. Facebook is enough, and Twitter's enough for me. That's where I get my information. I just can't do the Instagram thing. So
right,
just can't do it.
And that's fair. I mean, especially Instagram's a necessary evil for a business,
right? With the freed up money that Tom was able to do to restructure the contract, I think that's able to bring back Gronk and maybe Sue. I think JPP's got to come back on another 1-year deal. I think Sue and JPP have to know that they're probably going to take less money for a 1-year deal, and that's okay.
And I think that's where they're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you've got to, if you're Sue or you're JPP, you're looking going, okay, this is where it's okay to hit the panic button a little bit if you're a player.
Right.
You go, okay, we're past the first week in May. I'm a veteran and I'm still a free agent.
Right.
And we know that Ndamukong Suh is okay taking pay cuts to stay in Florida because we have no state tax.
Right. And I think JPP is okay with that too. It's just I think they're still working on contracts. And look, remember, we got 3 veterans, which they can come back in any time they want to. They can figure out, hey, we're going to do this contract for 1 year. They don't want to go to all the OTAs. They don't want to go through training camp. They're been in this league long enough and they're veterans enough where they don't have to do it anymore. I think that's why the deals have not got done yet, is because these guys are just, you know what? I'm going to relax a little bit before, obviously signing with the team I'm going to sign with. And I would say 2 out of the 3 come back of those free agents. 2 out of the 3 come back.
I say that's fair.
If it's not all 3, I would see more likely that Sue and JPP comes back, because there could be a high chance that Gronk says, you know what, I'm going to retire. I'm good. I don't need to play another year. I'm good where I'm at. So I think out of the 3 would be Sue and JPP.
Yeah, that may and I think there'd be more of an emphasis on re-signing them if I'm the Buccaneers.
Right.
Like you said, we've got Cameron Brate. They drafted 2 tight ends. Now, Jason Light can say it doesn't matter as much as he wants, but you still have to cover your ass because Gronk, you've got Gronk for 1 year if he comes back, maybe 2.
Right.
Possibly 2, but realistically more like 1. So you've got to look towards the future, whether he's coming back or not. Just like you've got to look at your quarterback situation.
Which I'm still not sold on Trask or Gabbert. That's why and this might ruffle a few feathers, that why not bring down here, make a trade for Baker Mayfield?
100%. I'm all about Baker Mayfield.
If Cleveland's going to eat that $18 million, make a trade for him. Make a trade for Baker. He sits behind Brady for maybe a year, and then you've got a starting quarterback who, look, a lot of people hate on Baker. I don't think Baker was on the right team. I think he needs a fresh start. Why not come back down to Tampa? A lot of people get fresh starts down in Tampa. So, and you can get him for cheap. You could probably throw a few draft. Look, Cleveland's not going to get the high value of what they think they're going to get for Baker Mayfield.
No, they botched the hell out of that.
Yeah, and Seattle's already said, I think Pete Carroll came out this morning and said, we're not going to make a trade for a quarterback. So Seattle's out. And Carolina drafted a quarterback. They got Matt Carroll. So I don't think the obvious destination, which team really needs a QB? I mean, to me, it makes sense for them to make a trade for Baker. I know a lot of people are like, we don't want Baker. We don't want Baker. Well, if Baker learns behind the greatest of all time, maybe that would help him.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is most of the people are saying we don't want Baker or like give Trask a chance. Guys, Kyle Trask is competing for the 3rd string quarterback position with Ryan Griffin.
Right.
If the Buccaneers were happy with his progress and his development, do you really think they would have re-signed both Ryan Griffin and Blaine Gabbert? I've never seen so much infatuation with a 3rd string quarterback.
Right.
And mind you, I started my career covering the Lions. So I've never seen that before. I've never seen okay, well, let's get Lions fans hated Matthew Stafford, but that's a conversation for another day, another time.
Now they miss him because he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Now they miss him.
No, now he had to get a stacked team to be good, apparently. But
true, very true.
Who knows?
I want to ask you. I want to ask you, Danny. So we've got Gabbert. Before Brady returned from his retirement, they were going to roll with either Gabbert or Trask. Now, obviously, the Bucs were kind of in the mix for the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, but if Brady didn't come back, that's who we have on the roster is Gabbert, Trask, and Griffin. And to me, you're going now from a Super Bowl contender team down to a team that might be 500, maybe less, maybe under 500.
I think if Tom Brady didn't come back, the Buccaneers look worse than they did with Jameis Winston.
I agree.
Quarterback.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
That might ruffle feathers too, because Jameis Winston was just as polarizing for Buccaneers fans, and I mean it still is. Like you go in these Facebook groups and on Twitter, and it's more Buccaneers fans like trying to trash Jameis Winston than, and it's weird. It's like you're going out of your way. He's not even like.
Oh, dude! Don't get me started on the Bucs Twitter people. It's just I don't want it. We don't have that much of we don't have that long of a show.
The soapbox is crazy, man. That's what it boils down for me.
I totally agree with you about the future of the team, because you really need to prep for when Tom Brady ultimately decides to really retire again, because it could be after this season. And what we have now behind him is, we all know we've seen the sample size of Blaine Gabbert from being in the league for as long as he has with Jacksonville and then San Francisco. We've seen that story. We know how the movie ends on that. Trask, I'm never sold on a Florida Gator quarterback. I'm not. The Florida Gator quarterbacks don't do well in the show, so they don't. I'm not sold on him. And Griffin, he's been with the team long enough. He hasn't even got past the 3rd string.
Right.
So ultimately, you may need to bring in a veteran that did start at one point that's better than Blaine Gabbert. And to me, it makes total sense. Make a trade for Baker, have him come down and sit behind Tom Brady for a year and see what happens. Because after he's done, you have Baker there. I mean, and he's got I think, a better team or a better roster around him than he did in Cleveland.
It's
why
definitely
not?
more complete.
Yeah,
for sure.
So why not? I mean, obviously, when Brady leaves, they're going to see a lot of people leave too as well. I mean, a lot of the guys that signed the 1-year deals are going to be gone. But it makes sense to me. It makes more sense to me than him to go to, Carolina, or it makes sense for him to go to Seattle. It just makes more sense. And I think for the team in the interim future after Brady leaves, Baker could be your guy to be still competitive in the NFC South, which the NFC South is a terrible division now because of all the great QBs that have left. So to me, it makes sense.
And even if he's going to be a bridge quarterback towards the future, like he's a better bridge than Blaine Gabbert is. You have to remember, and I'm not trying to spin this controversially, but Blaine Gabbert is always the poster child for why Colin Kaepernick should not be in the league from a lot of people. He lost his starting job to Blaine Gabbert. Why would Blaine Gabbert be good enough to start for the Buccaneers then?
Right. I agree.
And he's holding off Kyle Trask from taking over the primary backup. So what does that really say about Kyle Trask? I get it. You're a Gators fan. You've got unwavering bias towards him, and that's fine. And I totally get it, but you also have to be realistic. You have to understand that, he might not be the guy. Why did they pick him in the second round? Because they were hoping he was the guy. Not all draft picks pan out, man.
Look at Roberto Aguayo. It doesn't pan out.
Right. Jesus.
Another second round pick that, didn't do too well.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got to get off of that too, guys.
Okay. Yeah.
We got to get off of that. Jason Light has had way more hits than he has misses in the draft.
Yes. Get a new show. It's over. Get a new show.
Man. So the Bolts evened up the series in Toronto 1-1 after a 5-3 win. That was a little sketchy towards the end of the game. Before we go, we got a quick little footage from Bally Sports as the Bolts closed out game number 2.
And the Lightning are going to hang on. The Leafs force the issue, but it is Tampa Bay with the win. We're going back to Tampa, all tied up 1-1.
Excellent work by Vasilevsky, and the penalty kill came through in gigantic ways. Of course, so did the power play. Right down to the very end, though, the penalty killers come through with some big plays. Matthews almost tucked one in, but almost doesn't count. Big goal by Corey Perry. Great goaltending, great special teams. And the Lightning have tied the series at 1-1.
That was a little scary.
I puckered up a little bit.
There's, they have the old adage in football that prevent defense doesn't work, and it should be very, very prevalent in hockey too, because that's what really let the Maple Leafs try to come through the door towards at the end of the game. And
if this is Tampa's like cruel way of telling Toronto, hey, there could be a chance. I mean, that's cruel because the Maple Leafs don't really have that much success. They haven't had any success at all in the playoffs in I think the past 40 years they've been in the league. So if this is Tampa's way of just going, well, you might have a chance.
Right. Yeah. The Maple Leafs have not won a playoff series since I was a senior in high school.
And that's a long time ago.
That was 2004. That was a long time.
Disclaimer.
My hair is like this on purpose. Okay. just so we're
Are you nervous at all the rest of the way in this series? I know it's the opening series. Are you nervous at all where it could be maybe Toronto could push it to, the deciding game, or is Tampa just, playing with them right now?
I want to say that Tampa's playing with them. But the Leafs have looked good this season.
I know.
And all you got to do is get to the dance.
Right.
And on, anything could happen. Did we really think that Toronto was gonna win 5-0 in game 1? No. Was there a chance that they were gonna win game 1? Sure.
But not like that.
No, not like that. And then the Bolts looked slow. And that's and John Cooper, being the great coach that he is, rallied the troops, got his veteran leaders on board, and we saw the outcome in game number 2. Can they keep that up? Possibly. Hard Rock's got them favored. 6.5 over under for tonight as well.
I mean, the past 2 seasons where the Lightning have lost a playoff game, they're 15-0 after that. So I mean, that's not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. They're also 10-0 when Victor Hedman scores a point.
It's not too shabby at all. Again,
No, especially considering he had. Let's hope that he has this good juju because he had 4 points last game. Just get a little like cushion here. Go, hey, you know what?
I'm more nervous. I'm not as confident with this Lightning team as I have been the past 2 seasons because it could be maybe the hangover from the past 2 seasons with winning back to back. There's the other teams that are in the playoffs right now to me are equally as good, if not better, than the Lightning are right now.
And I think the other teams are more hungry to
Right.
knock them off the pedestal. You know,
Right.
if they're not back-to-back champions, let's say they were last season's champions alone, right? And somebody else won 2 years prior. I think it's a different motivation for their opposing teams, especially a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Am I saying that we're going to lose in the first round of the Maple Leafs? No. I don't believe that.
I hope not. Ugh.
I really don't believe that. But I do think that there's definitely more fuel to the fire.
I agree on that. Especially if you're going to go, if you win against Toronto, you've got, tougher teams to face. And if you ultimately get into the Stanley Cup, where you could face a team like Colorado, which Colorado is a tough team this year. Like,
yep.
I'm just not as confident about the Lightning as I have been in past.
Yeah.
Like this whole season has been like, to me, I wouldn't say a mediocre season for them. It's just been a meh. Okay, we're in the playoffs. Let's defend the cup. It's just been a mess season for me.
Yeah, it has been, and it could be. I don't care what anybody says, but when you are on a winning streak where you're winning titles back to back and you're viewed as a favorite back to back, you almost become complacent,
right?
And that's where it becomes up to the coach and up to your veteran leadership to say, hey, we're still playing. Like, we're not entitled to this championship. We're not entitled to get to the Stanley Cup final, right? Like that's where it is to me. And I think that the Lightning have a great veteran leadership team. Could power them?
Would you be now? Obviously, we'd all be disappointed if they don't win another Stanley Cup. But if they go deep into the playoffs, maybe go into the Eastern Conference Finals and lose, are you going to say, oh, disappointment, or oh, this team sucks now? It's like, but winning back to back is so hard to do. Like,
especially in hockey.
Especially in hockey. This isn't like, the NBA where teams can do it all the time. Well, not so much anymore, but that's super hard to do. If they don't win this year, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm not going to be that disappointed because that is one of the hardest things to do. Even getting to the playoffs after winning back-to-back chips and getting back to the playoffs is a hard thing to do. So if they don't win it again, I'm not going to be ultimately disappointed. I'll be sad, but we've seen this before where they've gotten ousted in the first round. Remember that? We got swept in the first round, and then next season we won the Stanley Cup. So.
And then the season after that,
the season won that. Yeah, we won 2 in a row, so it was a good thing.
I can understand why people would push the panic button. This has kind of been like the theme of the entire show today.
Yes, that don't push the panic button just yet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because look, they're still going to have their core next season.
Right.
Win, lose, or draw, they're still going to have their core. They're still going to have Cooper. They're like, you've got to look at all of the. You have to look beyond what initially happens. Yes, there you go.
There you go.
Hashtag it. But it's, I would be disappointed, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to use the term any given Sunday because obviously that's primarily for football, but it's the same moniker. If
I think they come out, they win game 3 today. 4-2.
4-2, man. You're putting a
4-2.
I mean, yeah, I'm fine with it. The Lightning are 8-3 at home, last season in the playoffs. So
mark it 4-2.
4-2. We're putting it down. I might even hit a video clip of this and just put this out there and tag.
I'm cool. Hey, do it. I don't care. We'll get some retweets off of it.
Absolutely not. So, Victor Hedman, as we talked about the Lightning's hot streaks, they're undefeated following a loss, which is That means John Cooper said it best. That's you've got a pretty good chance of winning the Stanley Cup if you don't lose after you lost.
I mean, that's hockey mentality right there.
I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Victor Hedman's 4 points in game 2 gave him 92 career playoff points, which
congratulations to him.
Ties the great Bobby Orr for 16th. Congratulations to Victor Hedman. Shout out to Chris Kren for that cool stat. New Bolts beat writer, which is doing a great job over there. We got to get you to come down to one of the watch parties, maybe for game 5. There's going to definitely be a watch party for game 5.
Is there?
There is, for sure.
I'll have to come up over the bridge and do that.
Over the bridge. I like it.
Yeah, over the bridge. There we go.
I think it's going to be at Armature Works, but I don't really know.
Okay, that's not too far away. Well, yeah, this is still far away from me, but still, I'll try and get up there. There's a certain time of day where a time of the day where I don't leave my house. It's like, all right, it's too late. I'm not going anywhere anymore. I used to be one of those guys that would go out at night. I hate going out at night now. It's like, just let me do the daytime thing. I'll be home. I can go to sleep.
Well, what's cool about moving to the city is I'm like, okay, now I have the option to go out to do things. I'm not that person. I don't like to do that stuff either. But I at least have the option to do it in the rare
form.
Where I'm like, yeah, let's go out.
Like, I'll go out, if I have tickets, I'll go. I've got tickets. I'm gonna go. But if it's like a random, hey, let's go out to Tampa. I'm like, why? What time is it? It's dark. Nope, I'm staying home. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's 12 minutes to get downtown for me. Oh, so
it's like an hour for me. It's an hour for me to get downtown.
So speaking of which, as we get ready to wrap up the show here, game 3 obviously is tonight. It's at Amalie Arena. Puck drop is at 7:30. There's going to be all kinds of festivities going on in Fort Thunder Alley tonight. I might be moseying around down there. I don't really know yet. I haven't decided.
Actually, you know what? My wife and kids are away this weekend.
No.
I might go. You know what? I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted on that.
All right. We might have Channelside Sports representing.
I might keep you posted on that. Okay. How much are tickets right now? I might go to the game. I'm gonna look.
We don't have a ticket sponsor yet, so wherever we get our tickets will be unnamed.
Let me look up tickets tonight. If there's tickets available and tickets at a good price, I might go to the game. I might do that. Okay.
You know what I don't like is there's no scalpers anymore. Used to be able to go to all these game time, all these websites that just offer these cheap tickets that are after their taxes and fees aren't actually cheap tickets. You can't just walk up to a guy and be like, hey, here's $50, let me get 2 tickets.
Yeah, he'll want 250 for the tickets.
Yeah, but well, let me check recently sold on eBay, and you go, what the hell is that? Defeats the purpose of that. I don't like it. I don't like it, sir. Well, you definitely got to keep me posted.
I'll keep you posted. I'm gonna look up tickets after the show, and I'll keep you posted.
If you come up here, you're gonna get on Instagram because we're gonna live stream from Instagram.
Fine, I'll get on the gram. I'll get on the gram for that. That's okay with me.
There we go.
I'm all right with doing that. As long as I don't have to create a gram for myself, I'm not gonna do that. But
no, yeah, that's totally fine. That's way too. That's too much work.
Yes,
we'll move it along.
Okay.
All right, folks. Enjoy the game tonight.
Go Bolts.
Go Bolts. 4-2. You heard it from Evan. Mark it, book it, write it down, screenshot it. Make a graphic. Whatever you guys want to do. But, man, follow us. Yes, that's right. Follow us all social media platforms. On Twitter, it's at CHside Sports. CH, obviously, shorthand for Channelside. Because you can't have more than 15 characters. Channelside Sports is
too long.
16 characters. 16 characters. Come on, man. That's crazy. Follow us. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, especially on YouTube, because we're going to be doing this. Evan and I are doing this every single weekday morning from 8 to 9.
We've got some guests lined up. We got some guests coming up too. So yeah,
we do.
Make sure to tune in.
Great guests lined up. That's going to do it for us this week. Yeah, this week, because it's a Friday. It's a one-off this week.
It is.
It's almost like it was expertly planned to start the show on a Friday.
Everybody have a great weekend. Have a great hockey night. Go Bolts. Go Rays. They play later on tonight too as well. Let's do this.
A lot going on in Tampa.